All right, guys, welcome to the channel. Make sure you click subscribe so you can get all our videos as they come out. I'm going to be putting videos out frequently, and today we are starting on our series about getting your ex back. This is a big deal to a lot of guys, and I understand it. I've been through it. I've had a couple breakups myself, so I totally understand. I've spent the past 6-7 years studying human nature and the nature of women only because I got broke up with too. So I totally get it and I totally understand. So let's get into the content. Number one mistake that you're going to make and that all men make is you try to contact your ex. You try to call her, you write her texts, you write her DMs, you're trying to get a hold of her, trying to change your mind, and it is just not going to work. Rule number one, someone breaks up with you, you immediately cease contact. Zero contact. That means just because we're in 2020, no liking Facebook pics, no liking Instagram pics, no liking anything. Zero contact. No letters, no smoke signals, no carrier pigeons, nothing. Do not contact your ex. It will only make things worse. You've got to remember, man. You've got to remember, she broke up with you. She broke up with you. There's a reason she did that. And more than likely, the reason she gave you is only part of it, or not the reason at all. Because women don't really like to tell a guy the truth or anybody the truth because they really don't want to hurt your feelings. They just want to be over with it. This has been a long process for her. You've got to understand this. This has been going on for a while. She's been thinking about this for a while. This has not been, all of a sudden she just changes her mind. Very seldom does it ever happen like that. It's a slow buildup over time of you showing weakness and her having a negative reaction to it. The goal of this whole thing is not really for me to help you get your ex back. That's probably going to happen if you just will follow these steps and you'll work with me and I can get you straightened out. That probably will happen. You'll probably get your ex back. But really, the whole point of this is to make you a better man. Because the reason she broke up with you is because you lost value in her eyes. You did not have the value, either the real value or even the perceived value, that you were worth her keeping around. So we have to work on you. That's the number one thing. But as we do that, zero contact. Keep in mind, she broke up with you. She was willing to totally let you go. The mindset she's in right now, she's not worth it to you. She is not worth it for you right now. So we're going to work on you. We're going to make you better. In that process, she's probably going to go, oh, he's changed, and end up wanting to dip her toe in the water again. So make sure zero contact, okay? As we move on here, next, do not display weak behavior. Now, you're not contacting her, so she's not going to see any weak behavior except if you display it on Facebook, if you display it on Instagram, if you send out little Snapchats, or whatever you do, or if you talk to her friends. Because her friends are her friends. If you're friends with them because they were friends with her, they're going to be on her side. Trust me, from experience, they're going to be on her side. There's no reason to talk to her friends about her, about the relationship, or anything else. If you see one of her friends and they say, oh, how's it going? Your response, it's really going well. I mean, better than ever. There's some things happening now that I've been working on that are really starting to transpire, and I'm really looking forward to the future. That will shock them. And guess who's going to hear about it? Your ex. But you have to be ready when that ex calls you back. So do not display any weak behavior to anyone. Zero weak behavior. Next, you cannot use reason and logic. When your ex comes back around or she texts you just to see how you're doing or whatever happens, there's going to be so many different things that happen. Just assume these things are going to happen. But when that happens, do not use reason or logic. Do not, well, I did this and you did this and blah, 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 and let's get out the dictionary and all that BS. No, women operate on feelings. It's how you make them feel. She broke up with you because you made her feel like you weren't valuable, that you weren't worth it. You understand me? No logic and reason. Women operate on feelings. If you don't understand that, we need to talk. Now, next, begging and pleading, because I know you want to do that because I wanted to do that. Begging and pleading is the worst. As you're on your knees, begging and pleading, she's walking away even further from you. And every time you do it, you're killing your chances even more every single time. When she contacts you, you will not contact her. When she contacts you, you do not use reason and logic, and you do not beg and plead. You do not do that. Leave it alone. Okay? Next. You have to understand. Right now, this is about you. Only you. This has nothing to do with her. You are about to start a path that is going to take you into a place that you've never been before. You're going to develop. You're going to grow. You're going to do things that you probably haven't done before if you stick with me. And guess what? It has nothing to do with her. It's all about you. This channel is all about you, all about men. It's not about women. It's about what men need to become to be attractive to society. Women will just naturally gravitate towards that. You don't worry about women. You don't worry about your ex right now. You worry about you. Okay? We're about you. Now, think about the relationship. You have to think about the relationship. If you start looking back and you start going, okay, she said this, we got in this argument, blah, 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 whatever. There are things that you did that systematically drove her to the decision to break up with you. Okay? So I'm going to give you a few things to think about, because in this first step, basically the first step is do not contact your ex for the reasons that I listed. You need to rewatch this video over and over and over again to get this in your head before you move on to step 2. You have to get this in your head. So, here are some mistakes that you may have made that started her down the path to break up with you. Number 1, you were too clingy. Okay? When I say too clingy, I mean you were the one contacting her all the time. Mistake. You were the one texting her all the time. You were the one showing up at her door all the time. You didn't make plans. You were like, oh, what do you want to do tonight, honey? You did not lead. You clung to her like you did to your mommy. This is not your mother. This is a woman that likes to be led, that wants her life to be easy. And if you're too clingy, it's too much for her and you're going to be out the door. So number 1, too clingy. Too clingy. That's very, very important. All right. Number 2, you did not lead the relationship. So like I said, if you're like, where do you want to go tonight, honey? You never make plans. You never say, hey, babe, I'm going to pick you up at 7 o'clock on Friday night. Wear that black dress I like. I guarantee when you show up on Friday night at 7 o'clock, she's going to be in that black dress. Because women love to be led. In any way, in any relationship. I'm in an LTR right now, and sometimes I have to say, hold on a minute. This is not what we're doing. Walk with me, hold my hand, blah, 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 whatever it is. I stop everything and snap it all back where it needs to be. I happen to enjoy a woman that has a strong will and has her own mind and things like that. That's all fine and good. But I have to lead that relationship or she is gone. The stronger willed woman, the stronger will the woman has, the more she has to be led. The more she has to be guided into where the different areas you want to go. Okay? So, You did not lead the relationship. That could be another reason. And these may all go together, and you sit there and think, oh crap, I did this one, I did number 2, I did number 4. It all leads to the end. Okay? Third one, you stopped dating her. You got complacent. You got comfortable. Netflix and chill every single weekend. You didn't take her anywhere special. You didn't, no more surprises. Not like, the honeymoon phase when you were just first dating and you were like, oh, what can I do this weekend? What can we go out and do? And it'll surprise her, blah, 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 and all this stuff. Okay? You stopped dating her. This even goes for long-term relationships, and this definitely goes with marriages. You want your marriage to go stale? Stop dating your wife. I'm telling you, it'll go downhill quick. You stopped dating her. Okay? Next one. You talked about work too much and your personal problems. Big deal here, okay? I've made this mistake. I have made this mistake. I run my own businesses, so I'm an entrepreneur, so I'm always thinking about business. It's always going through my head. I'm always thinking, what's the next move? Where are we going to go next year? These kind of things. So I made the mistake of talking about work too much to my girlfriend when I should have been talking about work to my buddies. Any issues that I had going on, for an entrepreneur, business problems are personal problems. Personal problems are business problems. It all intermingles. So if I'm talking about business, I'm talking about personal, and I'm having these issues, and I'm expecting to take that to my girlfriend, and in turn, her to absorb that and not have any kind of emotional reaction to it. Wrong. Big mistake. Huge mistake. Huge mistake. Girls just want to hear about the wins. That's it. You just tell girls about the wins. You don't need to tell them that, I had to pay 40 grand in payout this week, and there's only 2 grand left for me. They don't need to know all that. You just tell them about the wins. We got the job done. I got paid. Move on. Big deal. That's it. Sold the house. Did whatever you do for a living. That's it. Women want to hear about the wins. Not the losses. Only the wins. Talk to your buddies about the losses. Only talk to your buddies about the losses. Okay? So, those are the things I want you to think about until the next video so that you can think back, because it is important to think back and figure out, okay, where did I make a misstep? Because we're going to learn from that. We're going to correct it, and we're going to move forward. Whether the ex comes back or not, you're going to learn from that, you're going to correct it and move forward. Here's why. Most people spend their life repeating cycles. Let me repeat that. Most people spend their life repeating cycles. That's why your buddy hasn't been divorced once, he's been divorced 3 times. That's why you see a girl that's got 2 kids, 3 kids from 2 ex-baby daddies. And she's married to the 3rd. And the 3rd guy is raising the damn kids. Because they just repeat cycles. You are not going to repeat cycles. It stops here. It stops here. Okay? Now, we're going to be putting together the next video. How to get your ex back, step 2. These are all important and very important that you go through them in the order. Then you continue to rewatch them. It's a 5-part series. 5 parts to get your ex back. And by the end, you're going to be doing things that you've never done before. Maybe you have, but more than likely not. You're going to be acting different. You're going to be operating different. You're going to be thinking different. Because I'm going to take you to the places you need to be the man that you actually can become. Because right now, you're not. My proof is you got dumped. So, I offer private coaching. If you're interested in getting a hold of me and setting up a time to talk, that is fine, no problem. Email advisingmen@gmail.com. advisingmen@gmail.com. We can set up a call. I can get some coaching in with you, and the coaching will accelerate these 5 steps. It will accelerate not only these 5 steps, but it will accelerate putting you on the path to becoming the optimal man that you can be. This whole channel is about men and about advising them in becoming the best man that they could possibly be in their relationship, in their marriage, in their work, in their hobbies, in their body, their fitness, in their style, everything. That's what this channel is about. We have to start here. I'm glad that you came to the channel. Thank you very much. I appreciate you watching all the way through because this is very important information. We're going to get through this. Email me for some coaching. We're going to get you through this. Everything's going to be good. And at the end, it's going to be better. Thanks very much. I'll talk to you next time.